kilt-am Sports Radio 610 is presented by BetQL. Smarter bets start with BetQL. Download the BetQL app or visit BetQL.com today.
I was going to say, something tells me we've got a little bit more than I initially planned to discuss this evening. Chris Santiago, producer extraordinaire. Would you care to share the news with the masses of the city of Houston? Whether it be good, whether it be bad, whether it be ugly, at least tell me it's something regarding the Houston Astros making a deal for somebody that knows how to throw a baseball worth a damn.
So, breaking news, clearly, the Astros have traded for Yusei Kikuchi.
All right.
Kikuchi. Who did we give up?
Jake Bloss.
Straight up.
So far, yeah, that's what I've gotten. If anything pops up, any other players pop up, I'll let you know. But
all right.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a 1-for-1 trade.
All right.
For now.
So I just looked at Jeff Passan's tweet. The Astros starting pitching's been ravaged by injuries this season, and with Seattle going out and getting Randy Arozarena, Justin Turner, and Yimi Garcia, the Astros needed to make a move. Yusei Kikuchi was it, and Jim Bowden was the first to say the deal with Toronto was near. And I am seeing Jake Bloss is the guy. Jake Bloss for Yusei Kikuchi. Your reaction, PC?
They paid a good price. Like that was not cheap. Giving up Jake Bloss is a pretty strong price. They had to do it. They had to do it. I would tell you, they have to do it again. Mm-hmm. Now, I like Kikuchi. I know his ERA isn't great, but a lot of his peripherals are really good. And number one, the guy misses bats. And knowing what we know about, the Astros and how they coach up pitching and whatnot, how they maximize what they get from pitchers, I like the fact that they went and got a guy who strikes out 10 batters per 9 this year and knows how to miss bats. I like that Kikuchi's walk rate is down this year. In fact, it's a career low, 2.3 walks per 9. His home run rate is the second lowest of his career and the lowest of his career in any season, which he pitched at least 100 innings.
Mm-hmm.
The issues are you had to give up a lot to get him. And look, Jake Bloss is a kid who probably in 2 years is going to be a pretty decent pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an ace, but I think he's a solid 3. And that's a guy who 2 years from now is probably going to be a really solid 3 for a Major League team like the Blue Jays. But the Astros are win now.
Bloss was one of the, top 5 pitching prospects within the farm system?
He was probably their number 2 pitching prospect, but like their 8th or 9th best prospect.
Okay. So when you say that the Astros paid a good price to get Yusei Kikuchi, who is a rental at the age of 33 right now, just turned 33 last month, if people hear that, they're going to say, Jake Bloss, he wasn't ready. He kind of stunk. Nothing he did on the mound for the Astros this season resembled even him being, good. But he was one of 2 pitchers this season for the Astros that had to start games, the other being Spencer Arrighetti, both of which were not even a blip on the radar screen in spring training as being Major League Baseball ready. So just consider that. So I do agree with you.
Was for Spencer Arrighetti to basically be what Hunter Brown was 2 years ago, which was he was going to pitch from AAA all the way through to like the end of August, and then get called up in late August. That was originally the plan for Spencer Arrighetti. Injury after injury after injury changed the plan. For Jake Bloss, who this year actually started the year in High A.
Mm-hmm.
He was pitching in the Sally League, where he made 4 starts. Pitched very well. Then he went to Corpus. He made 8 starts and pitched really well. although his strikeout rate absolutely fell when he went from high A to double A.
Mm-hmm.
This year, wound up having to make 3 starts for the Astros. And look, they were basically what you would expect from somebody who had 8 career starts at double A.
Yeah, got thrown into the fire.
When he got called up, right?
Sure.
He was not ready.
Yeah.
And the Astros knew he wasn't ready. They just didn't have a choice.
Here's the thing about Kikuchi, though. Now that he is a Houston Astro, as I mentioned, the age of 33, he's a rental. The Astros presumably on the hook for the remainder of his contract this season, which was $10 million, probably less than $5 million, maybe in and around 4 and change of what the Astros are going to have to pay Yusei Kikuchi. Here's what concerns me. He misses bats. His strikeout numbers are really, really good, but they hit the ball, and he gives up runs. You know, just the last 3 starts, he's given up 5 earned, 4 earned, 7 earned. You go look prior to that, his first 2 starts, the month of July, solid. Probably his best start, or at least one of his best starts on the season, came against the Giants on July 9th. He went 7 1/3, struck out 13 in a loss for the Blue Jays. But prior to that, he'd given up, 4 earned, 4 earned, 5 earned. It's just he has not seen the results. But for a guy that has been around the block, pitched a lot of baseball, coming to an Astros team that certainly needs an innings eater and somebody that can generate the swing and the miss. Like if Kikuchi can kind of harness the good stuff, and maybe the Astros can get the very best out of him. And I think that is ultimately key here. When you look at this on the surface, you may not like it. When I heard about it at first, I didn't like it. But considering that this Astros staff, from a pitching standpoint in particular, has seemed to have gotten the very best out of guys that have come in from somewhere else with good stuff, with a good track record, it generally has worked out pretty well for them, for guys on the mound. Not always at the plate when you've gone out and gotten a hitter, but when they've gone out and got a pitcher, it has seemingly turned out pretty well. Garrett Cole, Zach Greinke, you go back to Charlie Morton. I'm probably forgetting a few along the way, PC. But
Wade Miley?
Did you say Wade Miley?
Wade Miley.
Yeah, Wade Miley. I'm
until
willing.
his arm fell off at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to just see how this plays out. However, I think you already said this. They need to do it again. They need to do it again. I don't know for what. I don't know for who. But there are still guys out there available for the Astros to seriously be looking at, not named Eric Fetty, not named Zach Eflin, not named James Paxton. All those guys have already been dealt. The
Yankees,
Yankees
you can say probably not named Jack Flaherty.
Well, is that
because
for sure?
Bob Nightingale tweeted out maybe 15 minutes or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
The Astros were going to get Yusei Kikuchi. They're going to give up Jake Bloss. That the Astros had been in earlier talks with the Tigers for Jack Flaherty before pivoting to Kikuchi. So the Tigers were obviously asking for a lot more in exchange for Jack Flaherty.
Understood.
So
he's having a better year. He's a little bit younger, correct?
You know what? If I'm gonna give away my whole farm for a pitcher, go get Blake Snell. Dude has been friggin' lights out for his last 4 starts.
Oh, I know.
He's just struck out 15 dudes like the other day.
Look, I told Chris this afternoon when he'd come in, I said, hey, did you hear about Blake Snell? And he goes, no. And I said, he got traded. And he goes, where? And I said, San Diego. And he's like, he's already been a Padre. And I'm like, I know, but I saw it to San Diego. And I said, you wouldn't believe for who? And I got done over by one of those bastard-ass fake accounts like MLB on Fax or some crap like that.
They got you, man. They got you.
They got me. I said, dude, you wouldn't believe who they gave up. And I said, they gave him up for like an 11-year vet, David Peralta, and some other slap journeyman. I'm like, how pissed have you got to be if you're the Astros and you see that? And you're like, we had Chas McCormick. And they gave him cash, too. And I'm like, we had Chas McCormick or like, XYZ other major league player. Like, you could have given up anybody. Dana Brown could have done this deal in his sleep. We could have done this deal in our sleep. and it was like MLB on fax or something
Yeah.
like that. I'm like, God bless America. So, yeah, Blake Snell and short people is still available.
San Francisco has said they're not going to pay his contract down. And I'm like, fine, that's better for the Astros. That means you have to give up less. Just take on the money.
Yeah.
Jim Crane said the Astros got plenty of money. Go get it done, Dana. You want the impact starter, the guy who's going to change the entire race? Go get Blake Snell. I don't care who you give up. Literally, ZFG, who you give up. And if he exercises that $30 million option, good, because he's your Verlander.
That is a great catch because Justin Verlander will not, I repeat, will not, unless he goes complete game, 9 innings in every remaining possible start that he has. I don't even know
if that's enough.
I mean, and it is.
You'd have to throw like 14 innings every game.
Yeah, we don't even know what he's coming back yet. However, all of these guys generally have somewhere between 8 and 10 starts remaining, of the season, with the 57 games left.
And by the time Verlander gets back, roughly end of August, he'll have like 5.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but he's not going to reach that threshold. So that's a great point you make. If we haven't heard scuttle at this point in time, something tells me that it's probably not going to get done. But in essence, that's why there is a deadline. You go all the way up until it's a little disconcerting to me that who's the report that you just read? Bob Nightingale. When he says the Astros pivoted from Jack Flaherty to Yusei Kikuchi because of the asking price, that's what would give me a little bit of trepidation. But again, as you say, it is Blake Snell. That is a different tier type of a pitcher. That is a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. That is a difference maker, and one in which I think the Astros are absolutely going to need going forward.
There is one other caveat to that.
Mm-hmm.
We know Jim Crane really likes Blake Snell.
Yeah, well, he's tried multiple times to get
as opposed to anybody else that you could possibly get.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Crane, who likes his big fancy stars, he likes the shiny object. If the Astros are going to go get a shiny object, because they went and got Justin Verlander in 2017 because Jim Crane essentially made it happen. They went and got Zach Greinke in 2019 because Jim Crane made it happen.
Understood.
If Jim Crane wants the shiny object and he's going to live up to the I have plenty of money, F the money.
Yeah.
We want to win.
Yeah.
Go get him.
Yeah, but you could have gotten him months ago.
Could have.
Whenever the asking price went from, $200 million to, a year and an option.
Because they were trying to outsmart themselves and be like, oh, we're going to get him on the super mega cheap, and basically did something, they were never in the game because they were trying to be like too slick.
Well, I mean, super mega cheap. What did Snell sign for the Giants for? Like 1 year, $25 million with a $30 million option.
$30 million player option.
Okay, and so it's
you could have done that in the beginning.
It's a win-win.
But at the same time, because he didn't have a spring training, and he bullied the team into the idea of I don't need a spring training. I can just go pitch.
Right, and he was wrong.
And then he stunk.
Most guys are wrong
because he wasn't ready.
Right,
and then he got hurt.
Right,
because he wasn't ready. But since he's come back, he's Blake Snell again.
Yes. So
you didn't have to live through all the negativity.
The injuries.
You got right to the, hey, we got the good stuff.
Okay, but if you were kind of, waiting in the weeds, if you will, if you're the Astros and Jim Crane, and you watch that from afar, he goes through all that, the injuries, works out the kinks, and now he's pitching like, Cy Young Award winning Blake Snell. And less than half of his salary this season you'd be on the hook for. What is it going to cost to get him? Far more than what you got for Yusei Kikuchi. But if it means the difference between playing out, the first week of October versus the first week of November, you do that deal every time, in my opinion.
And that's it. If you get Blake Snell, you are winning the division, you are going to the ALCS, and you have a shot to go to the World Series.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he's that dude.
Yeah, I know. But, winning the division, to me, it's until the Astros do that, it got that much more interesting. Because in a virtual tie entering play today with the Seattle Mariners, that is a ball club that did exactly what they needed to do. Now, I don't know how you feel about Justin Turner, 39 years old.
No, I thought
having
their
an okay
moves
season.
were really good.
Randy Arozarena.
Arozarena's been terrific for 7 weeks.
Yep.
He has looked like the old Randy Arozarena.
But they put their chips into the table. They said, hey, we're not jacking around here. We know what we need to do, and we're playing this game.
And they've been starting multiple batters with batting averages on the interstate.
Yeah.
They couldn't hit in a whorehouse with a fistful of hundos. All right, they couldn't hit. So now you're talking
Chris
about
likes that one.
They've brought in an all-star level player and a professional hitter who might not be a very good fielder anymore, but he still knows how to give you a really good professional at bat in Justin Turner.
Yeah.
Their offense got better.
Oh, I think so. You talk about a professional at that. I mean, the guy's been very, very good in the postseason. I think
Turner is a guy who is known for leadership in the clubhouse.
100%.
You need that. So they got a leader. They got a proven professional bat. Yeah, he's older, but he can still hit.
Mm-hmm.
And you got an all-star player in Arozarena who's a power speed guy and is a high-energy guy.
I was going to say, he's a spark plug.
He's going to inject a new life into that team.
I agree.
And then they went and got themselves a better bullpen arm, too, in Yimi Garcia, who's a solid pitcher.
Yeah, damn that guy.